Hello again and welcome back to part 3 of the Sunburst Mandala throw. I'm going to carry on using the same colours that I've been using from the start, but I've added a white row in with this one just to define this particular row. I've also weighed the original blanket and it weighs around about 700 grams. So if you're wondering sort of what amount of yarn to get if you're buying yarn for this one, I would say that you would need at least 7 100-gram balls of yarn. So the row that we're starting on for part 3 is row 16. We're going to start in the corner of the 2 double crochet togethers here in the corner. We're going to start with 2 doubles, and a chain 1, followed by 2 more doubles in that same space. Excuse me. We're now going to skip the cluster, the first cluster here, the 2 treble togethers, and we're going to work a shell into the chain space, and it's a 7 double crochet shell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So there we've got the first shell. We're going to skip the cluster and we're going to single in the first stitch. So we're skipping this 2 double crochet cluster here. We're going to do a single in that first double from the last round. We're going to skip 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do a 7 double crochet shell into the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We're going to skip 3 stitches, excuse me again, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a single into the next stitch. We're going to carry on all the way along the row to the next corner here, working a shell, skip 3 stitches, a single, skip 3 stitches, a shell, skip 3 stitches, a single, and so on. And it's just exactly the same all the way around. When you get back to the next corner, we'll work the 2 corner stitches, which is 2 doubles, 1 chain and 2 doubles, and then again skip this treble 2 together, work the shell, and on this first one we're going to do the single into that first double, and then we start with the skipping 3 stitches. So I've come to the corner here. I'll just go through the corner stitches again. We've done the single into the last stitch before we come to the corner here. So as we've done the single, we're going to do the first shell here into the space between the 2 treble crochet togethers. So it's 7 doubles, there's 4, 5, 6 and 7, and on this last one we don't do the single, we're going to go straight into this 2 chain corner space here, and we're going to work the 2 doubles. A chain 1 and 2 more doubles into that same space to form the corner. I'm going to skip this double, the treble 2 together. We're going to work a shell with 7 doubles into this first stitch as we started the row. 4, 5, 6 and 7. We do the first single into this first double here, and then we go back to the pattern repeat where we're going to skip the 3 and work the next shell into that 4th double. With the 7 doubles to form the shell. The next stitch after the shell will be the single. We're going to skip the 3 stitches. I'll just check that I've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Skip 3 and work the single. So carry on all the way around. You can pause the video until you've reached the other side. As always, we're going to just join with a slip stitch into the first stitch of the row. You can fasten off the yarn and snip it off. On to row 17. Again, we're going to start with a slip knot onto the hook. We're going to start in the corner. We've got the 2 doubles here with the with the chain in between, but we're going to come back to this first shell that we've got here, and we're going to start with a back post single around each of these 7 stitches. So to do a starting back post, we'll literally just go in front and behind, pick up the loop, yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to do the same on the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 in total. So we've got the starting stitch there, and we've done 1 back post single around each of the 7 doubles that form the shell. We're going to skip this center stitches all together, so we need to chain 3, and the chain's going to sit behind this corner. We're going to go straight on to the next shell. We're going to work 7 back post singles again. Just check that. Oh no, we've missed one there. Just pull that back and do 1 around each of the stitches. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We're going to skip the single here in this stitch, and we're going to work 7 back post singles around the next 7. Again, we'll skip this next single and we do the 7 back post singles. We'll work that round until we get to the corner. When we've reached the corner, again we're going to skip these 4 stitches that formed the corner, work 3 chain, and then we're going to go again behind the 4 doubles here, and we're going to start again working the 7 back post singles around the next 7 stitches. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then again we're going to skip the next stitch, which is the single. We're going to go straight over onto the next shell and work the 7 doubles, the 7 back post singles around, and that 3 chain there will just sit behind the corner on each of your corners. So if you want to carry on, pause the video and work all the way around. Again, we're going to join into the first stitch with a slip stitch. You can fasten off and snip off the yarn. On to row 18. We're going to start back again in the corner, but we're working into the stitches that were from row 16, and we're going to catch this 3 chain that's behind the corner. We're going to catch that down at the same time. So into this corner we're going to work a double crochet 2 together, so we do half of a double and half of a double, and then pull through all at the same time. Chain 1, we're going to double 2 together again, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do another 2 double 2 together into this same space. So we'll have 4 double 2 togethers. We do a chain in between, and then the final double 2 together that now forms the new corner. We're going to skip 2 stitches and we're going to single crochet into the next 3. So be careful not to skip that first one. That's the first one we're skipping. The second, we're going to single in each of the next 3 stitches. And then we're going to skip 2 stitches. We're going to do a V into the single that we skipped when we did the back post single. So we've got the single here again from row 16, and we're going to work a V stitch into that single. We're going to skip the next 2, and we're going to single in each of the next 3. And we're just going to work exactly the same all the way along to the corner. We're going to work a V into the singles that we skipped before, and then skip 2 stitches, work 3 singles, skip 2 stitches, and back to the V stitch in the single. So I'll see you when we get to the next corner. So I've worked the final 3 stitches along this side into the 3 singles. We're going to now go straight into the corner space, again catching down the 3 chain from the last row, and we're going to work a double 2 together, chain 1, a double 2 together again, oops, and chain 2, and then we're going to do the same, oops, the double 2 together, chain 1, and the final double 2 together. So we've got 4 double crochet together into that corner space. We're then going to skip the first 2 stitches and work the 3 singles into the next 3 stitches. So we skip that one and that one, work 3 singles, and then we just complete this side exactly the same as before, working a V-stitch into the single there, skip 2 stitches and work 3 singles. We just do this all the way along to the next corner where we skip the last 2 stitches and work the double crochet 2 together, chain 1, double crochet 2 together, and then 2 chain to form the next corner, a double 2 together, a chain, a double 2 together, and then skip the first 2 stitches, and we're working the 3 singles, skip 2 stitches and the V, skip 2 stitches and the 3 singles, and so on right to the very end. Once you've worked all 4 sides, again we're just going to join with a slip stitch into the first stitch to fasten off and snip off the yarn. And now we're ready to start row 19. Again, we're going to start in the corner stitches. We're going to work 2 doubles, a chain 1 and 2 doubles. I'm going to chain 1, and then we're going to work a popcorn stitch into the space here between the 2 double crochet togethers. I'm going to work my popcorn again with 4 doubles, but if you want a fatter popcorn, do feel free to work 5 doubles. The more doubles you do, the bigger the popcorn will be. We slip the hook through that first stitch, pick up that loop, pull through, pull tight to fasten off, and a chain 1 to finish the popcorn. And then we also do a chain 1. We're now going to work 1 double into each of the next 3 stitches. One, oops, 2 and 3. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a popcorn into the V-stitch. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Take the hook from the loop, push the hook into the first stitch, pick up that loop, pull through, chain 1 to fasten off the popcorn, and then we've got a chain 1. We follow that with 3 doubles, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches, and then we're back to the next V-stitch. So we do a chain before the popcorn, and then we do a chain after the popcorn as well, not forgetting that we've got a chain that actually fastens off the popcorn once you've pulled that loop through, and the chain to fasten off, and then a chain 1, and then just 3 doubles into those 3 stitches between the V stitches. So if you want to, again, pause the video, working the popcorn into each V, a double into each of the singles. In the corners we're going to work the 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 doubles, chain 1, and then we've got a popcorn between the 2 double crochet 2 together. And when we get round to the other side, again you can just join with a slip stitch into this first stitch here and fasten off the yarn. And on to row 20. Again, we're going to join with a slip knot to the hook. We're going to work in the corner space between the two sets of double crochets. We're going to do a half double into the corner, followed by a second half double, chain one, and then we're going to do 2 more half doubles into that same space there. We're going to skip this first stitch, we're going to do a single into the next stitch, and then we're going to work a front post double around the cluster from the previous row. So we're on row 20 at the moment. We're going to ignore this row here. We're going to do a front post double around that stitch there. We're going to do a front post single around the popcorn, and then we're going to do a front post double again around that skip stitch. So we've actually worked around the popcorn there. We're going to work a single into the top of each of these 3 doubles. So we've got 1, 2 and 3, and now we come to the next popcorn that was in the V stitch. We're going to work a front post double around the first half of the V. We're going to work a single front post single around the popcorn. We're going to do a front post double around the second half of the V. We've then got 3 doubles. We're going to work a single into each of those 3 stitches. That forms the pattern repeat that we're going to do a front post double around the first half of the V, a front post single around the popcorn, and a front post double around the second half of the V. We're going to carry on all the way along to the end of the row, working exactly the same pattern repeat, and I'll see you when we get to the next corner. As we come up to the corner, we've got the final popcorn here with the double 2 together either side. We're going to front post double around that first double 2 together. We're going to single, front post single around the popcorn, front post double around the next 2 double crochet together, and then we're going to skip that last double here of the corner, and we're going to work a single into the very last stitch, and then as always we're going to join into that first half double with a slip stitch, snip off the yarn and fasten off. And the circle is a definite square now, as you'll find with yours that we've gone totally from circular to square. And moving on to row 21, again we're going to slip knot onto the hook. We've got a corner space between the 2 half doubles here where we've got a chain space. Into that chain space we're going to work a treble 2 together. So we do through 2 sets of 2 but not the final one, yarn over twice again, through 2, through 2, then we're going to go through all 3 of the loops together there. Going to chain 1, we're going to do another treble two together in that same space. Oops. So we've got two treble twos together into that same corner space. We're going to chain two, and then we're going to work another two treble two together with a chain one in between. And there's one, chain one, and a final treble two together. So we've got four treble two togethers all into that same space. Going to chain two, and then we're going to work into this first stitch here of the two half doubles that we did for the corner, and we're going to work treble three together over the three stitches. So yarn over twice into, just have to move those across a little bit, into that first stitch, and go through two twice, but not the third time. Yarn over twice into the next stitch, and then yarn over twice into the third stitch there. When you've got four loops on the hook, we're going to yarn forward and pull through all the loops together. We're going to chain two, and then we're going to work a treble three together over the next three stitches. And then pull through all of the loops together. So it's the same stitch that we did earlier on in the throw, this one here, where we're doing the treble three together over the three stitches. We're going to work that all the way along to the corner with the two chain in between, and then into the very next stitch we'll work the treble three together over those three stitches. And a little hint to make sure that you're into the right stitches, we've got three stitches here that we're going to work, one in each of the stitches there, and then the next three will be over the front post double, the front post single, and the front post double. So if you want to carry on working the treble three together over three stitches, followed by chain two, and then into the very next stitch we start the next treble three together. So I'll let you work along and to the next corner. When you've worked all the way along to the corner, we'll have the three stitches left to work the last treble three together over those three stitches. There's two and the final one. We're going to chain two, and then we're going to work the corner again into this chain space here. So we're going to work two trebles together, chain one, and then another treble two together in the same space. Then we're going to chain two to form the next corner. We're going to work another treble two together, chain one, and the final treble two together in that corner space. And then we're going to work the three treble together over the three stitches, so you'll have to push that last treble two together to one side slightly so that you can work the first part of this next treble two together, treble three together over the 3 stitches. There's 2 and the last one. Oops, don't think I've quite caught that one right. I'll start again. Into the first stitch, into the second stitch, and then into the third stitch, yarn over through all 4, and then we've got the chain 2. We then start to work the rest of the treble 3 together over the 3 stitches along to the next corner. When you reach the final corner, don't forget the 2 chain after this last treble 3 together here, and then join into the top of the first treble 2 together that's forming the corner. Row 22 is a nice, easy and straightforward row. We're going to start in the 2 chain space that we left here in the corner with 2 doubles, a chain 1 and 2 doubles, and we're now going to work into the chain spaces. So we're going to work 3 doubles into the space between the 2 trebles together here. We're going to do 3 doubles into that first chain space. We're going to skip this 3 treble together. We're going to work 3 doubles into the next space. I'm just going to work all the way along, working 3 doubles into every chain space along the row until we reach the corner. We're going to do 2 doubles, a chain 1 and 2 doubles. So I'll let you pause the video and work all the way around, just 3 doubles in each of the chain spaces, no chains or anything in between, and then 2 double, chain 1 and 2 double in each of the corners, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of this row. And now on to row 23. We're going to start again in the corner space here. We're going to work 2 half doubles, a chain 1 and 2 half doubles into this chain space. Chain 1, and the second half double. We're now going to skip this first stitch here that's hidden, and I'm going to do a half double into the next stitch. We're now going to work a front post treble around the cluster from the row before the last one, which is this one here. So just yarn over twice and then work the front post treble. We're going to work 3 half doubles, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. Now we've got 1, 2 and 3. We're going to work another front post treble, just got a little bit of a knot there, another front post treble around this next cluster here. And then again we've got 3 half doubles over the next 3 stitches. We now come to the first treble 3 together that was over the 3 stitches. We're going to do a front post treble around the top of that treble 3 together, and then 3 half doubles, 1 each over the next 3 stitches. And then the front post double, the front post treble around that next skipped stitch there. So we're just going to carry on again all the way around, working exactly the same. We're doing a half double over each of these 3 stitches, and then a front post treble around the top of this stitch here. 3 half doubles and a front post treble, and I'll meet you when we get to the corner. As we've worked the last of the 3 half doubles here before we come to these corner treble 2 together, I'm going to do a front post treble around that first cluster, 3 half doubles, and then a front post treble around the next cluster. We're now left with 2 stitches. We're going to skip the first stitch and we're going to work a half double into the last one, and then we're back into the corner space where we're going to work 2 half doubles, a chain 1 and 2 half doubles, and then we just repeat that side on the other 3 sides, working the front post treble around the, well, we're going to skip the first stitch, I'll just mention that again, and work a half double into the next one. So we're actually skipping the first and the last stitch on these rows, and then we do the front post treble around the skipped stitch, and then we've got 3 half doubles, and a front post treble around that next corner stitch, 3 half doubles, and that brings us to the first of the treble 3 together that was over the 3 stitches, and we do a front post treble around the top of that stitch. So don't worry too much if you find that your trebles have got sort of a biggish loop at the top, because once we do the front post treble around it, it hides the top of the stitch anyway. So if you want to carry on and work all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. We're now on to the final row of part 3, and again it's a nice easy one to finish. Just slip knot onto the hook. Into the corner space we're going to work 2 half doubles, a chain 1 and 2 half doubles, and then we're going to skip the first stitch. We're going to just work 1 half double into every stitch all the way along the row till you get to the end, where you're going to work again 2 half doubles, a chain 1 and 2 half doubles into the corner. So that row, which was row 24, completes part 3 of the Sunburst Mandala. I hope you'll join me again for part 4. I hope you've enjoyed crocheting along with me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks very much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye.